Hello, I lost my ice cream here again. We are going to take a look at an Imperial Guard army. So, Jacob, why don't you walk us through with the details? We'll start off with this squad.
It's basically my first squad. It consists of 10 guardsmen and 1 flamer and 1 grenade launcher.
Oh, and I see you made some kind of a conversion here with that dual sword kind of thing?
Yeah, it just counts as a regular close combat weapon. So it's just my own way of customizing my army.
And this was from the Battle Force, correct?
Yes.
Cool. Next up, we have this kind of squad. And that kind of looks the same.
Yes, but it's also a veteran squad as the previous one. And it consists of 10 guardsmen, 1 sniper and 1 melta. And also this wounded guy over here. I had some spare parts from the HQ, so I customized him.
Yep. And that really makes it look like a not command squad, a veteran squad, since we have guys who are almost dead. Just like guardsmen should be. Now, about the big squad in the middle.
They're my conscript squad. Well, they will be my conscript squad, not done yet.
Some of you might recognize something is quite odd about this squad. I'll give you 3 seconds to take a look at it. Yep. This guy right here. He's kind of a zombie guardsman.
Yeah, I lost his torso while painting him, so
Sorry.
Killed him.
You killed him and tore his guts out.
Yes, he still fights.
That is no excuse to stop fighting, and I just punted some of those over again. I'm real good at that. Okay, so next squad we have more guardsmen by the looks of it. So they also have white helmets. Those guys have white helmets. Are they kind of a combined squad?
They're the same squad, both conscripts. But unfortunately, I armed them with a voxcaster. They're not supposed to have that, so I will
proxy them in, perhaps. Yeah. And this is a cat. That's completely irrelevant. And next up, we have another squad, and they have a banner.
Yeah, well, the banner doesn't count as anything. It's just there because it looks good.
And he has a shovel.
Shovel, yeah, it's just a close combat weapon. Further customized.
How do you customize that?
I got a shovel when I bought the heavy weapon teams, so I used it to create this close combat weapon.
Yeah. And we have some voxcasters, we have some riflemen, we have some normal crap. And a flamethrower by the looks of it, correct? Yes, that is a flamethrower.
And a grenade launcher.
Yeah, and there is some guy throwing a grenade because I don't know why. And next up, we have some heavy weapon teams. Now, about these, we have been having a bit of difficulties playing against these guys because it's kind of difficult to imagine how they work, since they all have different weapons and we never proxy things. Almost never. But why don't you tell us how they work?
They work quite well, actually. So yes. It's 1 autocannon, 1 missile launcher to deal with armored units and monstrous creatures, and a mortar just to wreak havoc among infantry.
Yeah. And next up, we have the command squad. And you might think a bit different about this, because this commissar isn't the old regular commissar. How do you make this?
When I bought my basilisk, it was there came a trooper who was supposed to stand at the back of the basilisk and load it with shells. But instead of gluing him and painting him as he was supposed to be, I used some of my spare parts and created a commissar.
Yes, and we have some normal commanders here. These came with the Battle Force, correct?
Yes. And
that sniper is the legendary sniper of failure. During his entire existence, I think killed like 1 Space Marine and 1 Necron Warrior. So far, yes, and he's kicking around like 10 games, something like that. And here we have some kind of a bionic arm.
Yes, it's a power sword.
And a banner. That banner calls like shenanigans on the enemy, correct?
Yes.
I hate that. And we also have some guy reading the newsletter because he can. And he has a... Is that a voxcaster?
Yes, the voxcaster.
And the medic who gives Feel No Pain with his kind of toilet paper. It kind of looks like toilet paper, to be honest. And next up, we have the Valkyrie. And the dreaded yellow helmets. So what is your strategy behind these helmets?
Well, my opponent will focus on the yellow helmets and forget everything about everything else. And will repeat to themselves yellow helmets.
And I also noticed the shark mouth design here.
Yes, it's just because it looks badass.
Yes.
And it's armed with...
I can't move in that angle. Ugh.
It's armed with a last cannon and 2 heavy bolters, but I only glued 1 on it.
Yes.
And also... I don't remember missiles.
He's got a bunch of papers just to check everything out.
Hellstrike missiles.
Hellstrike missiles. I guess these are the kind of things that are here. Yes, I remember that game where you pretty much lost, and then that thing came in and killed like half a squad of Hormagaunts.
Totally worth it.
Yeah, even though his entire army was almost dead. Now, onto the heavy support. First thing, we have a Basilisk battle thingy, cannon, wagon.
Yes.
Now about that, you bought these in Eastbourne, if I remember correctly,
Yes,
right?
in Eastbourne, on vacation.
Yeah. And how do you normally kit this thing out?
Well, I use it to bombard the enemy.
You don't say! And if you take a look closely, you can see that the tracks are all kind of full of mud and awful. And the cannon is kind of half-schemed, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I probably can't angle the camera in correct way, so I can't really show you the back. But that's what it looks like. Somehow it can magically shoot without crew members, but that's 40k for you. Next up,
It's self-propelled.
Oh, yeah. Next up, we have this Sentinel. And we usually use this guy as a armored Sentinel, but he looks cooler this way. Now, if you take a look around, you can notice that there are weapons kicking around him. That's because he can customize it. Now, why don't you tell us about that?
Well, it's they're not glued on it to him, so I can change his weapon.
By using that sticky mask, which I still can't remember what it's called.
So I can equip him with an autocannon to deal with orcs, for example, instead of a last cannon.
And you didn't really glue the knees either.
And actually, I regret that.
Yeah. And he also made this kind of, the creator is mine, but he used the rest of this kind of, is it a hut, something? To make, to make a ruin out of it, and it looks quite cool. Could be used as an objective, but we'll get to that later on. Next up, we have a Leman Russ. Every Imperial Guard army needs at least 1 Leman Russ, right?
And it's equipped with the main battle cannon, last cannon, and heavy bolters. And the storm bolter on top of it is actually used as a heavy stubber.
Yeah, and this thing also has the kind of dirty tracks. I'll never have to worry about that because I play Eldar. Perhaps they, put up smoke, but that's irrelevant at the moment. And a dozer blade. Now, about the objectives. Here are the different objectives, they are just leftovers, really. And these are immobilized markers, so you could put these
in front of the tank.
Yeah, I think I need to flip those around.
Or
like that.
Back.
Or at the back, the front, on top of it. That doesn't make sense, though. And here just a soldier's grave. More ammunition, a heavy bolter, and a very unfortunate guardsman.
2 unfortunate guardsmen.
Yes, that's true. They probably got stabbed in the back somehow, and their torso was laying out. But that is a quick look at the Imperial Guard army. You'll probably be able to see these in a few battle reports in the near future. And that is it. Thank you for watching.